Why did we choose this name, Mestizx? Ibi?
I am a mestiza because I am a person of mixed race.
It's a bit of a charged term. And if it's not related to how deeply I am Puerto Rican or how deeply Ibi is Bolivian or Brazilian, we are connected to the land itself, to the ancestry that lives inside of us in our DNA. That was given form and took life in this music.
It was so healing to actually reclaim that name, the mestiza, the Mestizx, the mestizo, as a place that exists with all of its contradictions, but also with all of its beauty. To be from everywhere, actually.
We are Mestizx.
I am Ibelice Guardia Ferragutti, born and raised in Bolivia and also in Brazil. From when I was 8 until 18, I played classical piano, and I continued with that for many years. I come from two very outstanding families in the sense of their connection with music. In Brazil is my uncle Toninho Ferragutti. He's played with all of these heroes of mine, like Gilberto Gil.
El tema de los Carcas.
And in the Bolivian family, I have Gaston Guardia, who is part of the biggest band of Bolivia, the Los Carcas. It was all the time a practice and also a way of listening. The music was there like one of the members of the family. Everybody's singing, like we don't even talk about how are you. We just express who we are and what we are and where we are through music and through singing.
Hey, this is Frank Rosalie. I'm from Chicago. Solo set. Thanks for listening.
I grew up in Arizona. My sister and I, we had this little game where we would play with sounds. We discovered certain sounds had a quality that was very molky, muted, filtered down sounds. This word was this beautiful metaphor for me about being fascinated with sound and giving it a playful attention without judging it or trying to compose it or trying to organize it. Just let it be and enjoy. The public school system had a lot of band programs. Had a really nice snare drum teacher when I was 8 years old. I did a lot of drumline and drum corps, also jazz programs. Arizona's a little bit of a desert, both it being a desert, but also culturally, there's not a lot of music passing through. Eventually, I made my way to Chicago. I really started doing a lot of recording with different groups. I also was working at the Jazz Record Mart. It was really my school. And that's where I developed my voice, playing in the improvised music scene. I started a record label that became Molk Records. At some point I was playing in like 30 bands, playing 25 gigs a month and teaching at the time.
He's actually from Arizona.
So good to play.
I need to put some tape.
Here we go. That was fun.
Oh, so much fun. I got a little excited, huh?
That's good.
Yeah, I guess.
I was studying dance in Brazil when I was 19. I love percussion. One of my main instruments is my body. I found these choreographers that were incredible, and they were doing something really liberating. I came to the Netherlands to chase the school they studied in. I started going to a lot of concerts of improvised music,
Jazz,
sound art,
free,
adventurous music,
noise.
I also started playing bass guitar because I remember I was very angry. I really liked screaming a lot. Now! The opening of my senses and also the possibilities of how you could relate to an instrument.
I was on tour with Riley Walker, and we were playing in Amsterdam at the Beam House.
I was supposed to see another band, actually a Belgian band that night, but I missed it. People told me there is this Chicago band, you should stick around. And I did. I don't remember so much the concert. I do remember the drummer. We were there until 11 in the morning or so.
I was completely doubled over in her presence, in her energy. She has this beautiful low voice. Hello, I'm Ibelice. Forget about it. I completely fell in love at that moment.
¿Dónde estamos yendo, Frankie?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Going to Chicago, really?
Wow.
You wanna come?
I'm coming. I was invited by Frankie to Chicago. We fell in love and we wanted to make music together. Oh, it was such a beautiful time. I'm going to just organize my stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I want more coffee, but I don't want more coffee, but I want more coffee. Te amo, baby.
Damn, Frankie. I don't know, I love it so much. This kind of flute you just use for the time where the dead is like for the Dia de los Muertos.
Only.
Yeah. But when are you gonna rehearse it? You have to rehearse it at a certain point.
Ah, this is heavy.
Yeah. I like the sound of this one though. It has like this kind of really low kind of sound.
Smoky.
It's smoky.
Smoke.
It's smoky.
The music was kind of composing itself. Scotty at some point asked us to sit down and give it all of our attention and make a duo record.
To make this music and actually take ourselves a bit more serious than we already did. And we spent a lot of nights around the fire, deconditioning limitations, searching for that liberation within.
Asking ourselves a lot of questions about our identities and our relationship with our home.
Puerto Rico, outpost of American democracy.
The timeless surf pounds this Caribbean shoreline of what Christopher Columbus dubbed El Puerto Rico, the rich port. when he discovered it on his second voyage westward in 1493.
Confronting our very different Latino backgrounds.
Bolivia looks to a time when a greater part of her national territory will become economically effective.
I grew up always feeling a bit sad because in that country there is so much separation. A kind of after-colonial ripple that is still very present. Of course, I just claim my belonging because I love the mountains and I love the rivers and I love my family. But it was always a bit alienating.
I would visit Puerto Rico quite often growing up. Indeed, I didn't grow up there, but I feel so connected to the land itself and to the spirit of the indigenous people that live there. The colonial past and everything that happened there and how that affected aspects of my family.
This mixed race thing was like a crack, a painful thing to address for me. I couldn't belong fully to my Bolivianness or to my Brazilianness.
From those conversations, I think I felt a dislodging of an anxiety.
The view from El Yunque is the most famous on the island.
Accepting my Puerto Ricanness and also my not Puerto Ricanness.
That separation was actually something that is not mine to carry. I am part of Bolivia, I am part of Brazil, I just am.
In talking about that with Ibi, the music started to take form. Said, I embrace the knowledge of my body to unweave the homogeneity. I turn up to the differences. I was allowing myself to turn up all of these parts of myself that I don't necessarily put on display when I make music.
We were making these songs parallel to these other projects and we realized, okay, we must kidnap ourselves right now to Chicago.
I needed to get the hell out of Amsterdam for a bit.
We've got to know this amazing place of International Anthem where we just build all of our instruments. We came with like 2 loads of instruments. Dave. It was so much holding space for us.
Keeping us on top of our spirit and staying present with the music at hand. This metadata that was coming in from my ancestry was super loud and very strong. I just allowed it to come. Nothing that I'm using is classically typical of any particular territory, but they're all informed by Caribbean, Afro-Bolivian, Dominican kind of roots. We were really careful to not get too far into electronic world and not too far into acoustic music and existing in both places at the same time. Matt Lux was passing by one afternoon, listening to a few things, and then just being like, just keep going. I just love the way he articulates ideas.
It's a movement, right? Wow.
Did we record that?
Never seen anything like that.
Working with Ben and Rob was pretty easy because they have such a vibe together. When when one of the songs started materializing, we both were hearing, we need more drums here. We thought about asking Avriel Ra, and he agreed. Bill McKay.
I do think there was a bit of magic going on in that space.
People were kind of passing by, flowing and free and relaxed. It was a really nice time.
Up. Yeah.
Less bit mundane. That's a shout out to my marching band days. My drum line used to have this cadence that the whole band would march along to. I just ripped off the cadence. There's a really nice clave inside.
Bless me mundane.
Turbulencia. That's a weird drum beat that I came up with. I was just thinking about conga lines. Just kind of changing the pitch of the snare drum. Rolling, tipping forward, and momentum that made sense for the bass line.
This is an invitation to open a portal together. A glimpse with our dream eyes to what we cannot yet comprehend. Like a mythical fairy tale. In this pilgrimage, we will be calling the songs for the next season, the power animals. We will dance with our dead until time breaks. We went to Parchiri to do an offering for a lot of things, but among others for this record. It was like entering to another dimension. I know, like there was these invisible doors and you just go like, and then you're like in this other place. So we had all these actions that we had to do with the flour, and we were doing it at chalar, which is putting the alcohol on the ground and offering candles. We have this mesa, which is a collection of objects that have very specific intentions. The food for the mountain is like a plate that you give to the mountain. We put it on a stone that has the shape of a condor. It is said that the condor flies to these mountains and brings a message. We are here to offer our gratitude, to offer our gifts, but also to offer our communion with everything that is. Collaborating with different intelligences. ¿Qué pasa, Lu? I'm in a quest or something like that to try to reinstall the sense of ritual in conventional places. How you present yourself, but also the relationship with the public. Like there is a show and then there is people looking at something, which I love. In Brazil and in Bolivia also, when there are very big festivities, we all just kind of become one body. I often think about how to create more dissolvances between the idea of performativity or the idea of looking at someone or not looking at someone, but becoming one. It's really a profound experience when you are not carrying your own body all alone or your own vision or your own art, but you're actually being carried by this massa of people and a certain kind of devotion that is often not even religious.
This album has been a 4-year process of a lot of digesting, creating a thoughtful work that encompasses who I am in totality. Coming to terms of who I am as a human being, let alone as a musician.
The healing process came with making these songs and actually acknowledging all this pain. But also the beauty of having all these branches to so many worlds. From the altitudes of the mountain in Bolivia or the depths of the jungle in Brazil and the islands and the music and the DNA of these places. They are my blueprint.
That sounds so beautiful.
Everybody should listen to Cantus. All right. What else?